Folks, I told y'all last week that if Texas House Democrats came back to allow Republicans to have a quorum, they will quickly pass new maps that decimates Democrats in the state. In addition, they'll also be decimating black power. Well, what happened? Well, House Democrats came back and the Republicans passed the map. Okay, so what actually got accomplished? Now, we know California is moving ahead to do what they are going to be doing, but I made perfectly clear that if you represent Texas, you should be fighting on behalf of Texas residents. That's what you are elected to do. Now, a number of black lawmakers, not all, and trust me, I'm going to show the faces of those who did show up today for the quorum. A number of black lawmakers were not there. They made perfectly clear that they could not, in good conscience, do that. You also had some others as well. Trey Martinez-Fisher out of San Antonio sent a statement from Illinois saying that he could not, in good conscience, do the exact same thing. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you return, you know what was going to happen. And the issue that I had is Democrats, of course, were selling wolf tickets. They basically were telling people, oh, we're in it for the long haul, when the long haul only lasted 2 weeks. Joining us right now, State Reps Aisha Davis as well as Jelanda Jones. Glad to have both of y'all here on the show. Thank you so very much. I just, you know, again, the thing that jumps out at me, when I listen, Jelanda, when I listen to Texas House Democrats say, we're going back to fight. And I'm going, what the hell are you fighting when they got the votes? You're not fighting anything. You're fighting if you didn't give them a quorum because they have complete control of the House, complete control of the Senate. It's just like when the Senate, 9 Democrats walked out, 2 stayed, and they said, you know, we're staying to fight. But if all 11 had walked out, they couldn't have passed.
To make me a little late.
If all 11 walked out, they could not have passed the maps. It makes no sense to me. Go right ahead.
So no, I didn't show up, and I'm not going to show up. There's a redistricting committee formal meeting at 5 o'clock today, 5 o'clock Central Time, which normally formal meetings are rubber stamp meetings where you know how you're going to vote. They literally have you all stand around something, and they call your name, such and such, how you vote on this, yes or no, and it's quick. I mean, it's easy. So I suspect it's going to be like that. But the thing that's funny to me, Roland, is exactly like you said. There is no fight. There are 88 of them and 62 of us. And the only time we were winning the fight was when we quorum broke. So I can't, and I'm so discombobulated right now because I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. Let me be clear. The people that came back, those of us that came back, who I guess maybe thought that they were going to get some brownie points for coming back, they locked them on the House floor. You hear me? Locked the doors. And you couldn't leave until you signed a permission slip, what a nice word, that said that they could surveil you 24/7 to compel your attendance the next time they had a meeting. So my colleagues who came back, they're calling it a security detail. No, it's an unlawful detention.
Right.
All right,
Well,
it's unconstitutional. And last I heard, I was born in America, not on a plantation. And these are modern day slave patrols.
yeah.
It is the crazy. In fact, one person said, one of the law enforcement people said he was working on narcotics this morning. They called him in, you know, so they pulling people off the streets. They pulling off police officers from doing like real police stuff.
Yeah.
To watch us, to surveil us. And so I'm not coming back to Texas till a popo gone, because we know that the history of white control over black people is to sick the police on us. So if you think, go ahead.
So one of the black lawmakers who went back, Representative Christian Manuel, we're going to go live. You mentioned that hearing. Well, that hearing is taking place right now, and there's some questioning going on. Y'all go ahead and play it.
Again, that's the underlying bill you're not asking me about. I told you at the top, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 17, 18, 22, 29, 36, and 38 are the changes.
Okay. So,
but,
okay.
like I told Dean Thompson, if you'll go on District Viewer
Yeah.
and look at the original 30, it'll tell you exactly where the line is.
Okay, so as of right now, just can you, and I'm so sorry, I promise
you're
I'm
fine.
not trying to be facetious. Can you tell me those districts one more time? And I know it is completely my
Absolutely.
fault.
No,
that I
no,
was
no,
late.
no. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 17, 18, 22, 29, 36, 38.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So I have two questions because you answered my question. So there aren't any changes to 30 and 33. It's only to these lists from 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 17, 18, 22, 29, 36, and 38. Just want to make sure. Okay. So you answered my question. So there aren't any changes to those. As it relates to CD9 and CD29, and I completely understand if you don't have the answers to it, because I know sometimes we just don't know. Are there any changes in the economic engines to CD9 and CD29? And the reason I ask is because those are traditionally districts that have had minority representation and were minority coalition districts previous. So I'm wondering if there's been any changes to those coalition districts as it relates to their economic engines that have been used to help prop up those communities in those districts.
Okay, now, as a preference, we've already gone through the two, Rochu and Petaway. So as you remember, there's a different view on the legal involvement
Right.
of coalition. Do I specifically know? The answer is no. You could go on District Viewer, but being a coastal guy, now that CD9 has Liberty County, I think that's a great economic energy area. So I think you gained a whole bunch.
Well, we're both coastal guys. I will agree on that. What I will say is all the refinery and industry that is traditionally in the areas are between mainly Jefferson, Galveston, parts of Orange, but mainly Jefferson and Orange. I'm not seeing what industry there is that is in.
Whatever. Here's my whole deal, Representative Davis. This is a waste of time. We know exactly what the Republicans are going to do. There's no amount of questioning. There's no amount of, oh, let me get clarity. They've made it clear. Donald Trump said, get me 5. They gave him 5. Ain't nothing changed. And so at the end of the day, when y'all did not allow them a quorum, they couldn't pass the maps. And I go back to if the two Democratic state senators had walked their ass out with the other 9, the Senate couldn't pass the map. So what black people are saying is, damn, can these Democrats find some guts and fight to the end? Representative Davis.
Aisha,
Uh-huh.
he asked you
Yeah,
a question.
yeah.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, she can't hear you.
Okay, all right. Y'all figure out why Representative Davis cannot hear me.
I can tell you this though, Roland, while you're figuring that out.
Now, hold
Let me
on
be
one second. Y'all, so y'all let me know. Figure out why she can't hear me. Representative Jones, go ahead.
So I don't know why Todd Hunter, the person who filed the map, doesn't know what's going on. He can't answer no questions, okay? They actually have changed the demographics of 9, 18, 30, 33, and 29. I'm literally looking at it myself. Why doesn't he know his own maps? For example, a difference in CD8 in the proposed CD18. If you'll recall, the previous proposed CD18 that we killed had 70.7% of the current CD9, if you'll recall. They actually changed that and they lowered the number. So now the proposed CD18 has 64.5%. They literally reallocated. They took out a larger part of CD18 and put it in CD29, which is currently a Hispanic seat. So they did change thing.
Isn't this really an exercise in futility? The Republicans are going to do what the hell they're going to do. And at the end of the day, had y'all held out, had y'all not given them a quorum, this would not be happening, and they would not be able to pass the maps. As I said before, we had to get the audio fixed. 9 Senate Democrats walked out. Two Latino Democrats stayed, and they were like, well, we couldn't hold out forever, and so we stayed to fight. I was like, you lost 19-2. What the hell kind of fight is that?
And we know the same thing will happen at the House. We can, go and say whatever we want to against it. We can, but they're going to pass it. They're not going to entertain any amendments. They're not going to entertain anything we have to say. They were given a task, and that was to pass the map. That would give more Republican seats. That would take away Black voices and Black votes. And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to do it as quick as they possibly can.
And that point, I mean, listen, it was very contentious over the last several days. Word came out Thursday. Of course, we covered this extensively on our show. Meetings were happening all weekend. And now we know what the real deal is. Now we know that there were Democrats who were afraid. There were Democrats who, oh hey, I'll only sit out one session. I'm not gonna do two. And what I don't understand over the last several days, word came out Thursday, guys. What I don't understand here, and it makes no sense to me, Representative Jones, why House Democrats somehow could not realize that y'all were actually winning the argument. And you have to build up momentum. And just because California announced what they were doing, it's not like, oh, okay, California's gonna change their map, so now let's go back because we've gotten other Democrats. No, your job is to fight for Texas. Let Governor Gavin Newsom do what he needs to do.
So let me be clear. I 1,000% agree with you. But California cannot just change their maps. California will not find out until November 4th whether the people who live in California vote to actually change the maps. There actually was a poll that came out last week saying that 2/3 of Californians like it just the way it is with no mid-decade redistricting. So that's not a done deal. But I 1,000% agree with you that even if California is successful, and I hope that they're successful, I hope Californians vote to redistrict out every Republican. That still doesn't change the fact that we're going to lose 2 Black congressional seats when we used to have 4. And Texas has the largest population of Black people in the United States of America. And it's not even a fight, Roland. Like, it's just like we both know Third Ward. You went to high school in Third Ward. I'm from Third Ward. If we gonna have a fight down the street, I might go down there as me and you. But if I know it's like 10 more people down there, am I gonna be stupid enough to go by myself? Hell no. And these people ain't even hiding behind the bushes. They literally like here, and you better show up. And it just defies logic to me that people are happy with winning messaging wars and getting people to talk about stuff. The only reason that people were talking about us is because we were winning. The only reason people were inspired by us is because we stood up to the bullies. We were playing chess. They were playing tic-tac-toe, not even checkers, and we literally stopped them. We were gangster. And now they're going back, and they've been under house arrest, for lack of a better word, grown, non-criminal elected people, and everybody's trying to figure out, well, how are we having a redistricting committee meeting at 5 o'clock? How did that happen? The second we gave them a quorum, they can do whatever they want to do to us, and they can roll over us, and that's exactly what they're doing. And if it wasn't so serious, it would be funny. I would think it's a big fat joke.
I mean, first of all, let's go back to the hearing. Give me 30 seconds. Go back.
Historically underrepresented now in this moment that has had a very serious need and has been vacant by the time someone would take the seat over a year, would we take that into serious consideration to understand the economic poverty that people who live in 18, particularly Black and brown people who live in those districts, have historically had to deal with since before the voting rights and after have gone into effect?
As I have answered, you'll have to go to the district viewer, look at the exact lines to see where exactly.
Representative Davis, they're like, man, look, we done changed the lines, period. What people, listen, Representative Davis, people were giving money. People were saying, yo, man, let's mobilize, organize. My greatest fear here is that this action here stunts all of that. And my greatest fear also is that you're going to have Black voters say, man, listen, if y'all can't fight, hell, why should I fight?
You know, Black voters have been holding up the Democratic Party for a while now. You have Black women voting 90+% in nearly every race as Democrats. But when it comes to Black matters, a lot of times that's not at the forefront of discussions. I have colleagues that are comfortable saying Black, are comfortable talking about how racist the maps are. So they'll just say Republican, Republican, Republican. I have some colleagues who said, oh, you know what? I was going to be out for one special session. I never guaranteed you anything more than that. I didn't say I was just going to leave one session and then come back regardless. I said I was going to deny quorum so I can fight this map. And that's why I did not go back. So, you know, until we really start to value Black people and not just our vote, not just knowing that we're going to come and vote Democrat, but I mean actually valuing Black people and Black communities, that's going to be something that Democrats are always going to have to struggle with.
Absolutely. So, okay. So, all right. So we'll
Roland,
go ahead. Final comment. Go ahead.
Let me show you something. All you got to do, this is actually the latest map. Can you see it? It's on my phone.
Yeah, we got it.
Right. So my point is, it's easy for us to figure out how they chopped up the lines. It's easy for us. And I think what Aisha and I are saying is that we just wanted to know what the deal was before we quorum broke. Aisha, I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but I, at least initially, didn't realize that we had enough people to quorum break, because when I was talking to people individually, there was a lot of hesitation. So I was surprised when we quorum broke. I was always down for it, but so I was thankful. What I didn't realize, and what I wish I would have been told before I made this decision, was that some people only agreed to quorum break for not even 2 weeks. Let's be clear, Roland. Today was going to be 2 weeks that we were gone. Today. So we didn't even make it 2 weeks. You keep saying 2 weeks. No, it's a day off. And I would have liked to have known that. And so if I'm a part of the team, you need to tell the whole team everything so the team members can make an educated decision. Because I don't like having to explain to people why we leaving after less than 2 weeks. And I have colleagues saying that was always the agreement. No, they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell me that, because I could have won a messaging war at home. I didn't have to come here. I could have stayed locked in my house, or I could have gone somewhere else. And so I feel bad for the American people, because I understand how they feel, because it's just like I'm them. I literally did not know all the information. And I was never going back. I never just agreed to stay gone for one session. And I never agreed to go into a fixed fight where we were going to lose. So when these bad maps pass and the legal precedent is not established, that ain't got nothing to do with me, because the only way we guaranteed a win was to stay gone. And they weren't even asking us. We wouldn't have even had to stay gone as long as they did the Montgomery bus boycott. So, and then they tried to get us all to come back, to give everybody cover. I'm not coming back. Like, literally, there are some of us saying there's no blowback. So I don't know who their constituents are, but they're definitely not my constituents, because my constituents are literally blasting everybody that came back, right? And they are so thankful that I stayed gone and Aisha stayed gone. And this is what's funny. I ain't told nobody where I am, because I don't know who's going to go tell them where I am. So nobody knows where I am, because I just don't know who's bought and paid for. And I don't know who's Steven on Django Unchained. So I'm just not gonna, I can't do it.
I understand. Well, we appreciate the both of you saying hell to the no. We ain't doing that because, and I was clear, every Black Caucus member should have said, nah, y'all want to do this here, y'all go right ahead. But we are not going to knowingly and willingly attend our own lynching. And what we are seeing with this map, what Republicans are doing is a political lynching of Black political interest, pure and simple. Representative Davis, Representative Jones, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.